So we're back, and as you can see we're doing the Multiwii 3D, still a bit of a obsession, project of mine. Thought it would be easy, but not as easy as I thought. So we've got the little multi-star 15 amp ESCs, and they've been modified. As you can see in there, they've been cut, and I flashed it with the Multiwii 3D firmware, and I've flashed my little white spy board with the 3D Multiwii 2.3, and basically it would work backwards and forwards, as you've seen in the previous video. But the issue was it didn't work when you tried to do the hold it up over your head test. So I got a bit frustrated, did a lot more reading. I found a site in Germany that had a couple of key points to it, and that was that when you set the minimum and maximum throttle values in here, you have to actually change those figures, not just use what's in the firmware. So I'll explain that a bit later. But basically I'll show you what that does. So we're all connected, as you can see there, and now what you've got to do with this, you've got to arm it, obviously, as I said, from the flight control auxiliary switch on the radio, and then what you do, as you can see there, you come up over halfway and the motors will start. Now you can see the issue that I had before, they wouldn't speed up. And then when you tilted it, that wouldn't happen. That would not happen. Okay, it just sat there and didn't do anything. So now I've got, as you can see there, forward, and you can hear it go in reverse, and reverse. So hopefully you can see that. That noise is the clicking over the two different speeds. And then disarm it. Now, one of the other issues I found is that you've got to run a separate BEC and then take your positive cables out of your ESCs, purely because the switching that these do for the 5 volt to your board, because you're changing direction, it gets spikes and can spike the board and give you issues. So with the BEC, from the distribution board straight up to this board, which I've got that there on the power distribution board, and it comes up and it connects up to my where the receiver goes, just to the positive and the negative rail. So it's just supplying juice straight up from the battery, changing the 12 volt to 5 volt straight to the board. The ESCs are just straight power straight out to the motor, no BEC. So I could have used an opto on those, a bit cheaper, and anyway, live and learn. And I like these ones. If this doesn't work, I can reflash it to something else. So hopefully that's your Multiwii 3D. So as I said, throttle down, arm it, and then get up past the center point, and then it starts going in reverse. You'll hear it click as we go over the halfway mark to forward. So that's a real fine line there. And then that's forward, and then you've got reverse. And as I said, if you hold that up and you do that, it's now acting like it should. So where do we go from here? Well, the next test is to put some props on, and because I'm not an experienced flyer and I've read a lot that people smash these things usually fairly quickly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie between here and across and here and across, and test it out in the backyard and just sort of flip it over and see how I get to use it. Because one thing I'm unsure of is whether horizon mode will do anything with this and upset the gyros and the whole performance of it, or whether you need to fly in acro and turn everything off. The other thing I'm unsure of is that when you're actually upside down and flying, you know, which way is forward and backwards and tilt and rock and roll. So Stay tuned as the Multiwii 3D project becomes a little bit more to fruition.